All right, hello there on YouTube. I've got some folks here at our studio today, and I'm just going to be teaching them on this concept of how to get rich. And so you can listen along, but if I'm not looking at the camera, it's not because I'm ignoring you, it's because I'm not ignoring them, right? And so I'm going to be looking at them. So can y'all make some noise in the studio audience so they know you're here? Okay, so I'm going to be teaching them, and you guys get to watch. So I'm going to be teaching them how to get rich.
There's a giant. Yeah. Here we go. You see, I got where I am because someone reached out a hand. Help me to stand, be an independent man. Because I'm standing on the shoulders of a giant. The shoulders of a giant, y'all. I'm thankful.
Now, when I say teaching you how to get rich, some people would automatically have an aversion that comes up to that in their mind. I don't think any of you, but there are people like, how to get rich. Why is he teaching people how to get rich? Why is he always talking about money? Because money is important, right? You say, well, I don't care that much about money. And I say, if you'll lie about that, you'll lie about other stuff, right? Because people say that. They spend 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day working for money, and then they say, I don't care that much about money. Well, which one is it? You care enough about it to spend you're spending more time on that than you are with your children. You're spending more time making money than you are with your spouse. You're spending more time making money than you are learning. So how can you say, I just care about spiritual things? You're spending more time making money than you are praying or reading the Bible. So let's at least be honest about it. So why don't, instead of saying, I don't care that much about money, because think about it, if you were in a relationship with a person and you said, well, I don't care that much about that person, how much time are they going to want to spend with you? Not much, right? So maybe one of the problems people have that's keeping them from getting rich is saying, I don't care that much about money. Instead of saying, I don't care about money, I don't care that much about money. Instead of saying that, what if we just told the honest to goodness truth, which is fine. Watch this. I don't care the most about money. Like, money's not the thing I care the most about. But I am not going to tell you that I don't care about it so that you can feel like I'm a good person according to your standard, because your standard is not the one I'm trying to measure up to. And mine shouldn't be the one you're trying to measure up to. Well, we're so afraid that people might judge us for something we believe because we live in this world of fragility where everybody's like, you say, I believe in God. They say, I can't believe you said God in front of me. Oh, I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. Well, go have a nervous breakdown, baby. Right? I can't fix that, right? I'm so offended you talked about Jesus. Well, stop being offended, right? Get over it. I can have a conversation with somebody I completely disagree with, and my feelings don't get hurt. Because I don't need them to believe what I believe in order for me to believe it. When I believe something's true, I can believe it all by myself. And if you can't believe something all by yourself, maybe the real reason is because you don't believe it. So I have no problem with creating wealth. I have no problem with being rich. I like the word rich because it's a Bible word. I like the word wealth. It's also a Bible word. I like the word prosperity. That's also about prosper, abundance. I like all of those words. They're Bible words. And they're oftentimes associated. They are associated with good more times in Scripture than they are with bad. There's a clue. So I'm going to teach y'all, at least from my perspective, how do you get rich? How do you get rich? And it seems like this big puzzle, and it seems like this mystery. But maybe it's a mystery because we've never asked the question before, how do I get rich? Right? Maybe we've asked the question, how do I make money? Maybe we've asked the question, how do I get a better job? Maybe we've asked the question, how do I get a raise? But maybe we haven't asked the question, how do I get rich? Maybe that's why we haven't found the answer. Maybe it's because we're afraid of what we think other people will think about us if we were rich. Can I get a witness? Where are my people, right? Because that's like a real thing. I don't want people to judge me and think I'm a bad person because I have money. So, that might be part of the reason. It also might be part of the reason because maybe we have sought, maybe we have looked, but maybe just nobody ever taught us. Maybe that's the reason. Maybe I'm not rich because nobody ever taught me how to be rich. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to teach you today 3 millionaire formulas that I use to make millions of dollars. And when I say millions, it sounds like people throw around the word millions like, oh, millions. And I'm not a multi-billionaire. I'm a multi-millionaire? Yes. Multi-billionaire? No. Right? Will I ever be a billionaire? Maybe. If I am, it won't be because that was my focus. It will be because my focus is to serve as many people as I can in my God-given assignment and then let the chips fall where they may. Right? So that's for me. And by the way, I'm not even saying that's the goal you should have. Right? And so So first of all, understand, you got to, like if you're going to get rich, the first thing you got to do is you have to get okay with the idea that getting rich is okay. That's the first thing you got to do. You got to be okay with the idea that being rich is okay. It's okay to be rich even if other people in your family are poor. It's okay to be rich even if other people who are your friends are poor. It doesn't make you better than them. It just makes you richer than them. And being richer doesn't make you better, but it also doesn't make you worse. Okay? So you have to make peace with this whole idea of wealth creation, because if you don't, you are never going to work to become something you despise. Right? Okay? So if you want to be rich, become okay with it. So the next thing you want to do, and I'm going to write some stuff on the board here in a minute. I'm going to give you these 3 millionaire formulas, but I want to give you some foundational prerequisites that I believe you have to take on if you're going to become wealthy. So become okay with it. After you become okay with it, stop hating rich people. There are people who hate rich people just because they're rich. You know why? Because they believe that the reason they're poor is because rich people are rich. There are people who believe that now. I know. I've had people say to me, I'm not that greedy. I want there to be some left over for somebody else. Do you understand? I don't want to be rich. I'm not that greedy. I want there to be some left over for somebody else. Okay. So we get paid in life in direct proportion to our resourcefulness. I'm going to say that again. We get paid in our lives in direct proportion to our resourcefulness. We don't get paid in direct proportion to the resources around us, because it is our resourcefulness that turns things into resources. Are y'all tracking? And so, I've got to make sure that I am okay with being rich, and I got to make sure that I am not I'm not hating on rich people. And after I do all that stuff, then I got to do the right thing. Then I got to do the right thing with my money, right? I got to start doing the right thing for my money, and then I have to start doing the right things with my money. So I got to do the right things for my money, then I got to do the right things with my money. And there are some people who, and when I say the right things, when I say right, I don't mean right as opposed to wrong. I mean right for the purpose of creating wealth. I have to do the things with my money, for money that will create wealth, and not just create existence. Most people, when they say, I want to make a living, what they mean is I want to make an existence, right? Because most people don't really live, they just exist. And they keep repeating Groundhog Day over and over, and today looks like yesterday, and this week looks like last week, and this month looks like last month, and this year looks like last year, and it doesn't get any better. And they keep just doing the same thing, and they're like on this hamster wheel of their own creation, because they disregarded the first command, which is not the same as the first commandment, right? What was the first command? Be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth, subdue it, and have dominion. Now, so if I am going to create wealth, these are the first three. I'm going to have to understand the purpose for my life. So what's the purpose for my life? Purpose number one, I need to create. You want to get wealthy? Here's a solution. Y'all ready? Create solutions for other people's problems. This is I know it sounds, Myron, what does that mean? It means look where other people, a big group of other people have a problem, solve that problem, let them know you will trade your solution for some of their money. I wrote this book, Boss Moves, right? It took me about 1.5 years. It took me longer to write this book than any other book I've ever written. But it is, in my opinion, the best book I've ever written. I mean, Trash Man the Cash Man was great. This book is on a whole planet all by itself, right? But anyway, so I wrote this book. So Zach, if you can look these numbers up for me real quick. I know I vaguely remember where they were. So how many times did I write this book, y'all? Oh, you don't have it in here? Oh, don't worry about it then. It's not that big of a deal. I'll just give a guesstimate. Okay, so how many times did I write this book? Once. But last month, we sold this book 400 and something times, this book. This book last month made us, just from the book itself, about $14,000, was it? $19,000. $19,000 last month. This book that I wrote one time. See, that's called a clue. You say, what's the clue? Here's how most people make money. Remember I said do the right things for your money? Watch this. Here's what most people do. Go to work, 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 get paid. And then they do it again. Go to work, 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 get paid. Here's what I do. Go to work, get paid, get paid, get paid, get paid. Go to work, get paid, get paid, get paid, get paid. I create something that'll pay me long after I'm done working on it. And I didn't write this book for me. I didn't write this book for me. I already know this stuff. I wrote this book for other people. I wrote this book, Boss Moves, for other people. And guess what? When I wrote this book for other people, those other people bought the book. I got one guy who bought this book, and he told me, he lives in Canada, sometimes in France, sometimes he's in real estate. He said, Myron, I had to join your inner circle because I read this book and I made $800,000 in 3 months from what I learned in this book. I'm like, wow, this book really was good. Maybe I should go read it again, right? Okay, but my point is, I created a solution for other people. Elon Musk is rich because people want electric cars, and so he created this concept for these electric cars, and then he gave his plan away for his building electric cars because he wanted to make money off the batteries. And so now he sells the cars to the people, and he sells the batteries to other people who think there's competition when they're really his collaboration. So you want to create something. 2, you want to connect. You want to connect with people. So you create a solution. So right, so fast. Okay, create a solution. I know how to spell solution, y'all. Don't be judging people. Okay, so create a solution and then connect with someone. Maybe a whole bunch of other someones, right? But connect with someone. Like, all of the money that you desire to have right now that you don't have, it's in somebody else's pocket. If you create a solution for them and then you connect with them, a lot of those people will, guess what they'll do? They'll happily hand it over. How cool is that? And then 3, contribute. Contribute to someone. Maybe a whole bunch of someones. I love the opportunity to give to other people. God blesses you by yourself, but he doesn't bless you just for yourself. Are we tracking? So now that I understand that piece, what am I going to do? I'm going to apply, first and foremost, I'm going to apply the millionaire cash flow formula. How do you make $1 million a year? Is that a good question? And $1 million a year for most people would change their lives, right? So how do you make $1 million a year? So first thing you have to understand is it's not impossible, but it's hard to make $1 million a year at a job, right? And so the answer is probably not getting a better job. I'm not saying it's not, but it's probably not for most people getting a better job. So what could it be? What if instead I start a business? Okay, if you're going to start a business for the purpose of creating wealth, notice what I said, for the purpose of creating wealth, you want to start the right kind of business, the right type of business. There are 2 types of businesses. How many types of businesses are there? 2. There is a business that either sells a service, which is the kind of business most people start, or there is a business that sells a product. Now, why do most people start service businesses? They start service businesses because a lot of times they'll have a job working in a service company and they'll be doing the service job and they'll think that because they can do the service job, that means they can run the service business, right? A lot of African American people in the United States of America believe that when you start a business, you start a service-based business because when we think of business, we think of service because it's in our DNA from the history of black people in the United States of America. But I submit to you, if you want to create wealth, this is not the way to do it. If you want to create create a business that sells a product. Here's why creating a business that sells a service creates a challenge for you. Because if you start a business that sells a service After you sell that service, then you have to fulfill that service, and that takes time. Time is something you have in limited supply. So now what you're doing, when you actually sell a service, what you're actually selling as the product is you're selling your time. Since you have a limited amount of time, you've anchored your revenue generation to a limited resource, so therefore you've limited your income generation, your revenue generation. Are you tracking? But watch this. If I sell a product, let's say we sell 400 and something books. It takes no longer to sell 400 books than it does to sell one. The biggest book sale I ever made, so if I sell a product, I might sell 100,000 products to one customer. Well, wouldn't that change my day? But what if I sold 100,000 people on a service? Oh, now I've got a backache, right? Just thinking about it, right? So like start thinking about what kind of product can I sell? Now, if you can create some kind of product like a book, so this book sells for $30, and it makes me actually more than $30, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But let's just say let's say it cost me $10 to create this book, right? Okay. So if it costs me $10, that means I make $20 profit. Okay? I make $20. That $20 can make me rich. And here's what's cool about a $20 profit. It doesn't have to be a book, it can be whatever. But I'm using a book because that's what I have here. So a $20 book, here's what's cool about a $20 book. $20 books, fairly easy to write. Fairly, if you know something. It's fairly easy to write. It's extremely easy to sell because it's easier for people to come up with $20 or for, in this case, $30, and I make $20 profit. So $20 profit. Now all I have to do is do the math, the $1 million math, and sell 50,000 books. When I sell 50,000 books, that's going to be $1 million. Now, my other book, From the Trash Man to the Cash Man, we sold over 155,000 copies of that book. But it's been out since 2007. This book's only been out since last year. But that book literally makes me 6 figures a month because there are other upsells and cross-sells and stuff that we have from the book. The book by itself did 20,000 last month. But the sales that book brought in, sheesh. Okay? So, now here's what's cool. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't need algebra. You don't need calculus. You don't need trigonometry to become a millionaire. You need basic 5th grade math and an understanding of human psychology or human behavior. You got those two things down, you can become wealthy. So, basic 5th grade math, what's that? If you're multiplying two numbers that end in 0, you multiply the two numbers. 5 times 2 is 10. And then you count the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your answer. You know what's really cool about that? What's cool is, have you ever heard somebody say, well, 0 has no value? Have you ever heard somebody say that? They don't know where to put their zeros. Because watch this. When I take this 0 off the back of 50,000 and I put it on the back here, and I take that book and I turn it into a $200 audio program, now I do 1/10 of the work. I make the exact same amount of money. I don't know if that hit y'all like it hit me, and I already do it. What's up? Well, I wonder what else I could do. Well, when I moved that 0, I wanted to make sure I wasn't doing anything wrong, so I hired a lawyer and a scientist and a minister because I wanted to see if there are any municipal laws, any spiritual laws, or any scientific laws against moving zeros. They said, no, you can move as many as you want to. I said, well, let me move another. If I sell a $2,000 training, $2,000 online training, $2,000 course, if I do sell 500 of them, that's $1 million. Okay, now I'm going to slow down. Some of y'all probably think I'm going too slow already. So, wrap your mind around this, y'all. Wrap your mind around this. Okay, so wrap your mind around this. If I sell a $2,000 course and I only have to sell 500 of them, 500 is only 10 a week. 10 a week, I'm about to get chills, is only 2 a day. 2 sales a day? And I can make $1 million a year? Oh, snap. Huh? Did y'all, 2 sales a day, 5 days a week. Oh, I forgot to tell you, you can have weekends off and a 2-week vacation and still make $1 million a year. This is so crazy. Well, what happens if I take that $2,000 course and turn it into a $20,000 mastermind? I only have to sell 500 of them. 500? Oh, 50. Oh, I didn't take the zero off. Thank you. 50. I knew something was wrong. Thank you. I only have to take 50. That's one a week. I make one sale a week. Okay, watch this. If I have a $20,000 offer and I make 4 sales a month of a $20,000 offer, because that's one a week, I made $1 million. What? This is crazy. And it could be a book, it could be a course, it could be a widget, it could be whatever. It could be some e-commerce product that you sell on Amazon. It could be some e-commerce product that you sell on Shopify. It could be t-shirt. It could be a t-shirt. It could be a clothing business. It could be hair care. It could be skin care. It could be whatever people want to buy a lot of, or whatever a lot of people want to buy one of. Okay? Well, what if I have a $200,000 VIP day, which I do have, a $200,000 VIP day? Sell 5 of them. 5. It's $1 million. We created last month, was it last month or month before? Last month, June. We created last month a $200,000 VIP day. We introduced it last month. We never sold it before, last month. We sold 3 of them in the first month. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, yeah, but who's gonna pay me $200? See, you're asking 5th day questions on the first day. Right? The real question is, what's the $20 product I can create? What's the $20 worth of value that I can create that I can sell to somebody for $20, but it would be worth $200 to them? Oh, by the way, one of the guys who did the VIP day, the next week, he made $7 million. I'm not saying he made, all of that wasn't because of me, but a lot of it was. A lot of it was, by his own admission, right? So you say, what am I saying? I'm saying the thing you want to do is you want to create value for other people, connect with those people, and then figure out how you can contribute to the world, right? So this is the $1 million cash flow formula. This is how we make over $1 million a year, okay? It's so simple. There's nothing about, it's not easy. I didn't say it was easy, but it's simple. You know what the hard part about this whole formula is? Thinking of an idea that serves other people at a level where they'd be willing to pay you for it. Thinking is the hardest work most people never do. Did I say that too fast? Thinking is the hardest work most people never do. In fact, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again, people will work hard to maintain a state of physical diligence so they can maintain a state of mental laziness. They will work hard at what's not working so they don't have to ever stop and think about what would work if they thought about it. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. Am I telling the truth? Okay, so that's the $1 million cash flow formula. I think what I should do, Zach, I don't know how long this has been, but I think what I should do, and I hate to leave you all in an open loop. I got 2 more millionaire formulas, but I want y'all to go practice this one. And then next time, should I teach them all? I think, yeah, you know what? We don't want the YouTube videos to be too long because then people won't watch them, and that's not good for our YouTube channel, just keeping it real. So what I'm going to do, I'll do part 2, and I'll invite y'all to come back. How's that? Okay, cool. All right, thank y'all for being here. But that was helpful, wasn't it? Okay, so YouTube, like, subscribe. What's the other thing they're supposed to do? Notification bell, comment, all of that. Do all that YouTube-y stuff. Share, do all that YouTube-y stuff. All right, I'll see y'all. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all.